I'm Sharice Haynes.
I'm Kelsey Phelan.
And I'm Jack Wack.
And we are from Mrs. Szymborski's A1 AP Language class.
On April 4th, we went to the Muslim American Society, which is an Islamic mosque.
When we first drove up to the mosque, it just looked like a large and ordinary building. The one that we went to, the Muslim American Society, is both a school and a mosque, so it was very large. The building itself used to be a Baptist church, and now they've remodeled it, so all the architecture on the inside has changed, but on the outside it still looks just like any ordinary church. When we were walking around outside, we noticed that there were a couple playgrounds around. Some of the young girls were on the playgrounds, and we noticed that they all had their hair covered, but some of the women who were walking around did not actually have their headscarves.
After that, we headed inside the mosque to check out other features that it may have. We walked by a woman who was sitting and praying and reading the Quran. So we walked down the hallway and walked past classrooms that they used for the school and different places to donate money to the mosque. And there was also a rack of shoes, also meant as a sign of respect and not wearing outside shoes into the mosque.
Met up with Amal, who is a Muslim, and she was pretty much our tour guide for the entire night. And she took us into the sanctuary, and the first thing that we had to do was take off our shoes, which is a sign of respect for the Muslims as they go into their sanctuary, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then on the wall right in front of us, we saw this large Arabic writing, which said, we learned later, meant Allah. And also the carpet had these arches in it that were pointed diagonal, which Amal told us was pointing towards Mecca, which that's another sign of respect for them. As they are kneeling and praying, they are kneeling towards Mecca, which is their main holy site. Next, we also saw like this clock wall, and it had mini clocks underneath this large clock, which each of those clocks have a specific time in them, which is different times during the day that they're going to pray. And at any one of those times, a man can go up and give this call to prayer, which is basically like Arabic talking and singing, which is kind of creepy and weird, but I guess it's cool for them.
So then the service started, and it was the sunset prayer that we went to.
The men and women were not separated by different rooms like they are at other mosques, but instead they were separated by sections. Men were in the top right corner, and women were in the bottom left corner for the prayer.
And they had one guy up front pretty much just shout for the entire sanctuary to hear. He was the one directing the prayer and praising Allah out loud while everybody else praised him internally.
During this prayer, they got up and down 3 times, but in different prayers at different times of the day, they do this a different number of times.
Like that, and then you bow down your forehead up to your nose, touching the ground. That's like general prostration.
So it's like this. And then you get back up. And then you do it again. And then you get back.
This prayer lasted about 7 minutes or so.
Tori introduced us to her friend Amal.
So Amal was really helpful because she pretty much explained everything that we needed to know. She explained what was going on around us, what all the architecture meant, what the rituals that they were doing in front of us meant, and it was really helpful to get a Muslim to help us with all that.
She spoke fluent Arabic, so she could translate all the things from the Quran for us, and she actually had the entire Quran memorized. So that was really cool for her to just recite verses to us and then translate them from Arabic to English so that we could understand what she was saying.
What we all found very inspirational about Amal is that for every single theological question that we asked her, she had a very well thought out response planned for everything and had an answer to everything that she was able to defend and articulate, which we've all found very inspiring.
I think also she didn't pause at all. Whenever we asked a question, she would come back right away with an answer.